We've completed our short exploration of the Finger Lakes region, and we ask ourselves, okay, where to next? Our decision was to head generally north, toward the shores of Lake Ontario and beyond, with an aim to reach the St. Lawrence Seaway and the northernmost parts of New York State. Our route is taking us from Toggenach Falls, north along the western shore of Cayuga Lake, the largest of the New York Finger Lakes. We check into a great campsite at Fairhaven Beach State Park, with great views of Lake Ontario.
Nice park.
Very nice. After a restful night, we then proceed east, along the southern shore of Lake Ontario, and eventually toward an area known as the Thousand Islands region of the St. Lawrence Seaway. The Thousand Islands is new to me. I've never been here, and quite frankly, I don't recall many people talking about this area. But let me say this now. This area is beautiful. A real gem, and definitely a place that you'll want to put on your travel destination list. The Thousand Islands region is essentially a North American archipelago of 1,864 islands that are located on the Canadian-U.S. border. This area is situated in the St. Lawrence Seaway as it emerges from the northeast corner of Lake Ontario. We drove back south across the river to the town of Clayton, where we stopped in at Clayton Island Boat Tours. We booked their 3.5-hour two-nation cruise. This cruise includes an hour-plus long stopover at Boldt Castle, yet another historic place we had never heard of. We're taking the tour loop marked in blue, heading clockwise north and essentially circumnavigating Wellesley Island.
Taking us around this lovely river, and we are on board the Miss Clayton. A couple introductions to our vessel that we got to go over before we get started.
Our comfortable pontoon cruise boat will travel over 27 unique miles through U.S. and Canadian waters. We see many of the Thousand Islands along the St. Lawrence River, with a great local guide sharing rich history and stories as we get close-up looks of several of the islands. There are magnificent views of million-dollar homes along the way. We continue our way north and east through the channel between Picton and Murray Islands. The weather is cool, but we're treated to beautiful sunny skies. The waters are smooth as we slowly make our way into Canadian waters north of Wellesley Island. We learned from our guide that many of the smaller islands are privately owned, typical summer homes for many from downstate New York and elsewhere. If and when any of these islands go up for sale, I suspect they don't last too long on the market.
I don't own an island yet. Yes, I opened up my IRA this summer, which is an acronym for Island Retirement Account. That's the dream.
And when you own your own island, installing special features like this conveyor belt from your boat dock are in order.
You sit right over here, you get your luggage, your groceries, pile it up on there, push a button, and enjoy the view while you're waiting to go up to the house.
We're also in international waters as we travel under American and Canadian spans of the 1,000 island bridge system. No passports are needed on this tour, as we will not step on any islands in Canada.
The St. Lawrence River. He was a French explorer, and he found this river on August 10th, 1555. The boat that you saw right under the door to the boathouse back there, that is Byway's sister vessel, Herway. A $1 billion wooden cruiser, painted black, cuts through the river like butter. Now, Byway and Herway have yet again another sister vessel, Our Way, the yacht that the family will occasionally take out here on the river. Now once again, that's owned by the Tomlinson.
Our tour boat approaches the Hart Island Pier, where we will disembark for our visit to the castle. George Boldt, along with his family, spent several summers on Hart Island. In 1900, Boldt planned to build a huge masonry house. He hired the architectural firm of G.W. Hewitt to build a 6-story castle as a present to his wife. Sadly, the construction of Boldt Castle ceased in early 1904 after the untimely death of Boldt's wife, Louise Boldt. Heartbroken, Boldt never returned to Hart Island, but he continued to spend summers in the Thousand Islands region until his death in 1916.
As it once was. The Thousand Islands Bridge Authority in these almost 50 years that we're coming up on has spent over $66 million into renovating Boldt Castle.
The 6 structures to explore on Hart Island include the castle, the powerhouse, the Ulster Tower, the Hennery, the Arch, and stone gazebo. Exhibits in the various structures and a 15-minute video presentation offer a look into the lifestyle of George and Louise Boldt. The first floor has been restored to reflect Boldt's original design, complete with furnishings. Beautiful custom-made doors and decorative windows now enhance the entrances. Had you been a guest on Hart Island, the reception room is where the Boldt family butler would have cordially invited you into the grand estate. Originally completed in 1904, this room was restored and reopened to the public in 1993. Here's the billiard room, a typical upper-class gentleman's hangout. The billiard table on display, including the cue set, are restored by the Brunswick Billiard Company. ballroom is one of the most elaborate spaces in the castle. Crown molding, along with dramatic lighting, were added. The original plan for the ballroom called for an organ to be installed in the small landing. On display today is a donated St. reed organ. The library was completely restored and opened to the public in 2004. Although George and Louise's children were nearly adults, it is likely that George Boldt had this area built with his future grandchildren in mind. This is the George Boldt Suite. Each family suite was designed to include closets, a personal bath, and a private entry onto the second floor balcony. The rehabilitation efforts of the Grand Hall is one of the Bridge Authority's greatest accomplishments. The area is completely unrecognizable today compared to when the property was first received in 1977. In 1999, the grand staircase renovation was completed, followed by installation of the marble floor, oak millwork, and completion of the stained glass dome in 2001. On display throughout the Grand Hall are several pieces of the reproduction artwork.
Or bedrooms, I think. There is.
The Dovecote, also known as the Hennery, was the first structure built on the island. This was where George Boldt housed his collection of waterfowl and other birds. With a 60-foot tower, there was plenty of room for his birds to stretch their wings. Modeled after Roman monuments, the Watergate stands 25 feet high by 20 feet long and was to be the formal entry for small tenders, delivering guests from larger yachts anchored in the deep water. With the support of the Ball Horticultural Company and Dickman Farms in Auburn, New York, the Thousand Islands Bridge Authority is able to plant some 20,000 individual plants in the many gardens on Hart Island. These flower displays decorate Boldt Castle's grounds each season, perhaps the highlight of anyone's visit. Our tour of Hart Island and the magnificent Boldt Castle concludes as we circle back to the boat dock and resume our tour of the Thousand Islands. It's been a fascinating glimpse of history and a close-up view of part of the golden era of the early 1900s. We're glad we took the time to do the tour. Highly recommend it to all.
Welcome back, everybody.
We have another 45 minutes or so to sail back upriver, this time on the American side of Wellesley Island, and many more smaller islands are in view along the way. Our tour concludes with a close-up look at what is known as Millionaire's Row, a collection of privately owned islands where beautiful estates and million-dollar mansions can be viewed by boat.
Over here on the right, these are some condos to Wellesley Island, and Millionaire's Row here is tenants as well. Now, George Boldt had designated locations for his 300 workers to Hart Island. We have designated locations for them to stay. Now, folks, we talked a little bit about an eagle's nest on the way down here. It's over here on the right on Nabi Island. It's among the trees here, of course. Right now it's behind these trees out in front. This building here is the playhouse, a building only for entertainment purposes to the Nabi Island property. This building is equipped with a home theater as well as billiards with a pool table.
What a great tour, given the many islands to come alongside, the views of Canada, the open international waters, Millionaire's Row, and most of all, Hart Island and Boldt Castle. There is no real way to see and experience these sites by car. Your best bet is to take a cruise and take the long one. You won't regret it. Well, it's been a pleasure sharing with you our adventures here to the Thousand Islands region. We hope to see you soon on another adventure on these roads less traveled.